I got some Wuthering Waves theories for... I think we're calling it 3.0, but it seems like we're going there in 2.8. New Federation. I got theories, and this is not pulling it out of my house. It's pulling it out of my taint. So a couple live streams ago, right, when they announced, oh, Jesus Christ, for how beautiful this game is. A couple live streams ago, right, when they announced that they were doing flight in Jinzhou, right? They announced flight in Jinzhou, and everybody cheered, and nobody, because of their TikTok little brains, couldn't pay attention. Nobody realized that they're not doing flight going forward. They said that. They are on record as saying that. Whether they've said it, come back and said they're not doing that anymore, I don't know. I haven't heard so. But, hold on. But, my assumption right now is that there's not going to be flight in the next region. At least in the next region. So, because I know that these devs aren't dumb, right? I know these devs, they're not going to just, like, shit their game. At least I don't think they're going to, right? One, you can hope they're not going to Hoyoverse this thing, right? Where they sunset the thing after, a good patch, and then ride that wave to build another game, and keep doing that until the end of time, right? And fucking flowers. So, no flight, assumption, yada yada. I think there's not going to be a need for flight in New Fed. So that makes me think, alright, we don't need flight. Maybe flight's not viable in 2.7 or 2.8 or New Fed. We'll just call it New Fed. In New Fed, flight won't be viable. What does that mean? How do you design an entire region where flight isn't a viable solution to traversal? We have been given hints. We kind of assume and know that New Fed is technology based. New Fed is like very high tech. It's like a city. We're all kind of expecting city. I think that's a fair assumption that most people are expecting a cityscape in New Fed. Just having a cityscape doesn't preclude the need for flight, right? Sure, they can give you a mount. Maybe we get a motorcycle, something like that, where we can ride through the city, dodge traffic. It'd be fun. People are still going to want to fly, right? We're still going to want to, like, fly or at least zip line through, like, Batman style, which they did. We could just do zip line through a cityscape, right? And we could make that work, right? People are still going to want to fly, though. That's not going to get rid of the itch to fly. And if people still have the itch, they're going to complain about it. And I don't think they want people to complain about it. And they know this. They're not dumb. These devs aren't dumb. They listen. They know. They're plugged in. Here's where all the yapping comes in. New Fed is going to be a city. Oh wait, I got one more piece of the puzzle. LAHAI-ROI, I believe, from what I googled for 2 seconds. Actually, I didn't Google it. Another person's chat Googled it, and I saw the Google search. I think it was Marco Meatball. Anyways, I believe it's expected that New Fed's going to be Middle Eastern, or Egyptian, or like Northern African, somewhere in that region, which tells me maybe, and also this isn't like a slight, right? This is just them. This is kind of a pattern. Wuthering Waves has basically taken general beats from Genshin, and again, this isn't a slight. This is way better than Genshin. They have taken beats from Genshin and made them better, right? So what if Middle Eastern region, we know it's a city, right? It's technologically advanced. What if we're doing Sumeru Desert, but correctly? What is Sumeru Desert, but correctly? An entire underground city. Hear me out. Entire underground city where you can't fly because the buildings go all the way up to the top of the whatever cavern they're built in, right? It can still be a giant city region, right? And then they can compartmentalize off parts of the city. They can do their level design. They can block things out. Because you also have to think about it from a game design perspective. You have to be able to block things off. You have to be able to use the level design to tell your story. Because it's open world, right? You have to be able to like gate things better, right? It's hard to gate, hard to time dialogue when you can just bypass the obvious pass, right, by flying. That's one of the reasons why flying is like a genie in a bottle. They kind of screwed themselves with, right? It was very nicely optimized in 2.4, but we haven't seen it very well optimized elsewhere, where when you walk, it doesn't cut off the dialogue, or when you run, it doesn't cut off dialogue, or when you fly, it doesn't cut off dialogue. They started getting around it by using the wing rays. I believe like in 2.7 is when they finally started doing it. Maybe second half 2.6. But it still is an issue where timing dialogue to traversal without breaking the experience, right? Because they could always just do a cutscene, but then that takes away from the experience of actually playing the game. Plus, it's more work to do a cutscene than it is just to have you travel. You can do that by putting it underground, by having the city be like a Kowloon wall city kind of thing, where it's like underground favela, high tech, right? Or that could be just a part of it, right? There could be a high tech region that's like maybe there's an above ground and an underground, right? And maybe you can only fly in the above ground, and it's only like one city, so you don't really feel the need to fly. And then underground is, you know, wall to wall, ceiling to floor to ceiling cityscape, and then bang. Now you have no need to fly. You have a little reason why you can't fly, because it's underground, right? And it would be more effective to traverse a city using streets, using mounts. I'm like 100% certain we're going to be having mounts in the next season. Because like, what other traversal could we do besides like quick travel? Like other forms of quick travel, not like traveling to like teleports, but like, oh, I click this button and it takes me somewhere else. We could do like metro, right? We could do like trains and stuff. That could be a fun form of quick travel. You hop on a train, and then it like takes you around the city, and then you hop off the train. That could be fun, but it's not as fun as hopping on a bike and you know, just weaving through traffic. An echo bike, perhaps. Anyways, that's my predictions for just like the level design aspects of New Fed. Story-wise, no clue what's going on. Oh, I do have that's right. I do have predictions for the story. So let's go back to 1.0. When you first meet Chisa and Lame, Yap, Yang Yang, there we go. They mention your clothes look like they're around from around here. Where are you from, right? And that prompts the, oh, I don't know who I am, yada yada. I was like, oh, okay, memory loss, cool. So that's one person who doesn't know who you are, where your clothes are from. They don't recognize your clothes. You come to Renacita, everybody mentions, oh, you're not dressed like you're from around here. Where are you from? You don't know, so you don't really answer them, right? You have been to 2 big regions, and no one recognizes your garb. We're going to another big region. I wonder where your garb can be, right? I'm guessing that Rover's memory swipe happened in New Fed. Let's see, who else is from New Fed? We know Cal Charles from New Fed. I know he's dead right now. Give me a second. Mortafi is from New Fed. Verina's from New Fed. I think she was born there. I think she was raised in Jinzhou, so she doesn't really count, but she is technically from New Fed. Who else was from New Fed? Shit. Alto's from New Fed. There we go. So let's bring out Mortefi. No, let's bring out. You know what? He's living in Huanglong, so he doesn't count. Let's bring out Alto, who is Black Shore, so he can dress however he wants, and let's bring out Calchoro. Not a good comparison because it's male versus females, right? I'm not changing my rover just to make a point, but let's look at their clothes and compare, and maybe there's some motifs, like regional motifs we can kind of pick up. Rover. Maybe female Rover isn't the best to compare against because, you know, she's distractingly beautiful. But anyways, mostly black, blacks and grays, right? Gold accents. We have some sort of like chain. There's a little floret on her pouch, but there's a belt with pouches, right? Belt with pouches. Big long greaves on the legs. We got tactical. It's very black, very tactical. General gist, right? Black and tactical. What do we got here? We got belts. We got pouches. We got black with tactical. We got some grays. We got some gold accents. Holy shit, that's the same pattern on his buckle. Tell me it's not the same kind of pattern that's going around that gold thing. It's been here the entire time. It's been in our face the entire time. It's the same motif. All right, let's go to Alto. Alto's gonna be a little bit different because he's Black Shores, right? But same difference. We got a poncho. We got blacks and whites with gold accents. Let's see if we can find any designs. We got belts, right? Trying to see. I mean, he's a 4-star, so it's not gonna be. Buddy, I'm trying to look at you. Let me ogle you, man. Let's go. Yeah. Anyways, that's my basis of design. My basis of things. Very belty, very tactical, very sleek, very black, white, and gold. Right? There's a pattern here. There is a pattern here. Let's see. Let's even go. Let's look at This might derail my idea, but let's look at Mortefi. Even though he lives in Huanglong, Verena doesn't count. She was born there and raised over here, so I don't think she matters. I think Yinlun is a Huanglong native. We don't know where she's from, so she doesn't count either. I'm pretty sure he's from Huanglong as well, so it is just Mortefi, right? Well, it's like a Mortefi. I'm pretty sure on his vials it's the same pattern as Rover's. It's hard to see. It's not quite as embossed, but I'm pretty sure it's the same pattern. And he's got a Huanglong jacket, so I guess that doesn't count. But everything else, right? Again, it's a stretch because he lives. He's a resident of Huanglong now, so it doesn't matter. But you can see where I'm coming from. You can see where I'm coming from. Who's the other male from 1.0? This guy. He's Huanglong for sure. He was born and raised. But let's look at his garb compared to the others. You have very designed and ornate patterns on the clothing. It's not quite as belty. There's a little bit of belt in the back, sure, right? But it's blue. There's black and gray, but it's also blue. Buddy, quit moving. I'm trying to look at your hand. I don't know. I don't know. It's just the meanderings of a psychopath. Anyways, that's all for this. That has been my new Fed conspiracies. Thanks for joining. Thanks for watching. Stay sketchy and bye.